Hi, my name is Ambika Gill. I teach Communication Studies at Evergreen Valley College. Today I'm standing in front of Mount Pleasant High School. Mount Pleasant High School is located in Eastside Union School District. This is the school that I attended when I was in high school before I transferred to Evergreen Valley College. Many of your students will be coming from Mount Pleasant High School as well. Coming to Mount Pleasant High School was a fun experience. I had a great support system before I transferred to Evergreen Valley College. But unfortunately, a lot of students here do not have that. Many of these students come from low poverty backgrounds, don't have many support systems because they're first generation students, or they really don't have much resources available. So these students need a lot of attention and they need the support to motivate them to continue. As I transferred to Evergreen Valley College, I've noticed that students became more proactive about their studies and they started to become better at becoming a student. So I encourage you to really look at the student's experience and ask yourself, how can you help the student and how could you be an effective support system?
Hi, I'm Sambo. I'm one of the senior library technician here at EVC. Today, I'd like to share my story as a student here at EVC. And I hope that my story will provide insight into some of the challenges that our student may face. My family and I are survivor of the Khmer Rouge genocide. We came to the US in 1983. I grew up in the east side of San Jose in a very poor and underprivileged neighborhood. We had to move so many times because we don't have stable housing, and I had to attend 3 different high schools. As a student, I experienced many challenges, economically and socially, especially because my language barrier. I speak very little English. I had to walk an hour a day to school because my parents cannot afford to give me 35 cents for the bus fare. And so there was also, it's difficult to come home and study because we had to share a 2-bedroom apartment with several other families, and my family alone is already 13 of us. So for many years, we slept in the living room and on the kitchen floor. Every day I was exhausted and hungry, and food was very limited. So when I attended EVC, my life changed. As a first-generation college student, I was unsure of my life. Unsure what I want to do in life. I didn't have any goals or anything like that. So EVC staff and faculty provide me support, resources, and job opportunities. So I start working as a library student assistant during the day and program aide during the evening while taking classes as a full-time student. So after 7 years, I graduated with my bachelor in human resources. So EVC staff show me so much support, guidance, love, and when I was a student, and I would like to give back, and I would like to do the same for our students that are new to the campus or are already here. So EVC has helped shape my outlook of life, and I have developed a lifelong friendship here. And I'm no longer just a survivor, I'm thriving. So one thing to take from my life experience is that I think it's important for staff and faculty to see students as a whole person, because we don't know each student, they have their own stories, their own challenges that they face outside the classroom. So we need to show our support, our whatever we can do to help our students succeed in their academic year and in life, regardless of their circumstances. They are here striving for a better life in education, and let's continue to be a caring campus and help our students succeed in anything that they want in their life. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Victor Garza. I'm the Dean of Student Success at Evergreen Valley College. I grew up in the Northeast San Jose area. the neighborhood was Hofstadter Berryessa, and I attended Piedmont Hills High School, and I did enjoy my time there at the high school, but academics were not the priority at that time in my life. I had other priorities at that time. And for that reason, I enlisted in the United States Navy after high school, and for 4 years. After completing that 4-year stint, I used my Montgomery GI Bill and it started off enrolled at Evergreen Valley College. That was 1992, so a long time ago. The campus has completely transformed since then, although we still have the Acacia building. That was around back then too. But you know, my experience at Evergreen was really positive. I loved the staff, the faculty. It was very encouraging and supported me a lot in my academic endeavors. I also became a part of the ELASA program, enrolled in the program, and the faculty and staff of that program were phenomenal. Really helped me to see the possibilities of my life was, as far as higher education. And because I received so much support from staff and faculty from the college, you know, I ended up transferring to San Jose State, earning my bachelor's degree, and ultimately, later in my life, attending USF, University of San Francisco, and completing a doctorate. You know, if you would ask me that in high school, you ever see yourself, you know, as a dean for one, but also obtaining a doctorate degree, I said, hell no. Like I said, I had other priorities and at that time in my life. So my years at Evergreen were just very positive. I grew a lot here. I saw possibilities for myself here. And the faculty and staff at this college were a big part of that. And that's why I'm so happy that I got to come full circle, you know, come back and work at the college. I first got hired by the ELASA program, doing outreach at all the schools in the East 17 High School District, which was just a great experience, right? And then advancing in my career now here as the dean. So it's just wonderful to be part of this institution, working with faculty, staff, and other administrators to provide the best services possible to our students. And most of them do come from the East 17 High School District. So I have affinity for our students and for the work that we do. Very committed to our mission. And again, I am a beneficiary of all the wonderful services that the school offers. So I'm forever grateful to Evergreen, and I'm so incredibly happy and honored to be an employee of this wonderful institution. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sarai Minades. I grew up in South San Jose, went to Andrew Hill and Silverdale Middle School. In 2007, I graduated from Andrew Hill, and then I got to Evergreen in 2010. So yeah, it took me 3 years. So my experience as a high school student, I would say was average. I had immigrant parents who worked all the time, definitely were from a low-income family. So I just kind of felt like I just made it through a high school, but I could have definitely used the extra support. A lot of the support services I did use was from like public services. So for me, like as a student growing up, because my parents were always working, I would end up going to like the public library after school to just kind of do homework, like get on the internet, and check out books or whatever. Like that was just something that was a safe space for me while my parents were at work. It really did help me out. Like that safe space is something that I definitely needed. And then I eventually got to Evergreen. So it took me a while to get to Evergreen. And that's just because when I graduated, I just didn't have the support. Like my parents didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to enroll me, or they didn't have any insight So it took me 3 years because finally I had a family member bring me over and kind of like help me get started. And then I utilized a lot of the support services here at the college. So I guess one thing I would say about my experience at Evergreen would be because I was first gen, I was very intimidated by my instructors. I didn't know how to ask questions. I was always very shy. And when I was lost, I didn't know what to do. Sometimes I would go to tutoring. But one thing I wish I would have done when I was at Evergreen or as a college student, was just ask more questions, talk to my instructors more. But it was hard for me. It was hard for me to approach them. So I don't know if it's just like the first gen thing, or if it's because my parents were immigrants and you just want to have that respect for your professors. That's something that I just needed a little help with. So if I could leave you with something about our students, it would be that they definitely need a lot of support, even though they don't seem like they need support, especially from their professors. It's like professors are who we trust the most, along with the student services support staff. We just have those extra questions sometimes, and it's good to know that someone is there to help us out. So I leave you with that.